Hello friends, I'll be talking about total 5 matches in my video. Today 2 matches happened. First match was South Africa versus West Indies and second was Pakistan versus New Zealand. And also yesterday there was a match between Afghanistan and Scotland. And tomorrow there will be again 2 matches, England versus Bangladesh and Scotland versus Nambia. So I'll be talking about all these 5 matches. Now starting with the South Africa versus West Indies match today, I would say that today was the day of men in green. First of all, the South African team won, and then the Pakistan team won against New Zealand. And between the South Africa versus West Indies team, both the teams had lost their first match, and whichever team had lost this match, the road to semi-finals will have become really difficult for that team. And the team which lost was West Indies. They were the defending champions, but again, they didn't look like the defending champions the way they played. Well, West Indies team, their management and their selectors will have to accept the fact that many of their senior players are now past their prime. They have not been performing well for a long time, like Chris Gale, Andre Russell, Karen Pollard, and even if you see Dwayne Bravo, they are their experienced players and they were their match winners earlier. But now, since a long time, they have not been performing well, and that's why West Indies has failed to perform well in this tournament. And this was really disappointing for West Indies fan. They were the defending champions, and their batting again they didn't really look good. They were not able to post a good total. Their total was better than earlier, but still the total which they gave this time, South Africa chased it down in a very comprehensive manner, losing only 2 wickets. So I would say just the way West Indies lost their last match against England. In the last match, West Indies were all out for only 55, but in that match they lost by 6 wickets, and in this match against Africa they lost by 8 wickets. They could take only 2 wickets of Africa, so it was as big a loss as the loss they had against England. And now road to semi-finals for West Indies is very difficult. They will have to win their remaining 3 matches, and even then, it is not sure that whether they can reach the semi-finals or not. And I don't think that West Indies will be able to win their remaining 3 matches. And talking about South Africa gave in a really good and professional performance. They always had a good bowling attack. I have said that their bowling attack is one of the best in the tournament. And I was expecting them to play with 5 specialist bowlers in this match, but they went in with the same bowling combination which they had in the last match. They preferred to play Pretorius. But this combination worked this time because in this match they used Markram as their sixth bowler. They decided to combine Markram and Pretorius as the fifth bowler, and that strategy worked for them in this match. So I think this team combination is also good because in the last match they didn't use Markram, and if they can combine both these bowlers together and play them as a fifth bowler, then their batting will also look strong. They will also have depth in batting, and their bowling will also remain good. And talking about their batting, it was a really spectacular innings by Markram. A 25 ball half century at a strike rate of 200. He showed that you can be destructive even while playing proper cricketing shots. And he was well supported by Vander Dusen. Although he played a steady innings, he was not explosive, but we had seen him how explosive he can be in that practice match against Pakistan when he scored a century in only 50 balls. And in this match, South Africa couldn't even play Quinton de Kock. And even without that, they won comprehensively. So you can see that they are not as weak a team as many of the people are thinking. And in this match, they played Hendricks as openers. And when Quinton de Kock will come back, then Hendricks, I think, will again sit back. And that leads to another dilemma because their opener, Bavuma, he hadn't scored in both the matches. So it is again becoming like a case where the captain is not scoring runs, and he will have to justify his place in the team because the other player who has came as opener, he performed well, Hendricks. But I think it will be too early to judge. It's only 2 matches. So maybe Bavuma will also play well in the coming matches. And now talking about the second match, Pakistan versus New Zealand, you have to accept that Pakistan got what they wanted. Before the India Pakistan match, many of the Indian fans were singing Moka Moka, but they couldn't grab that Moka in the match. And many of the Pakistani fans were singing Badla Badla before the Pakistan New Zealand match, and they did manage to take Badla by defeating New Zealand, and they did it by playing very good cricket. They played really well against India, and they continued their good performance against New Zealand also. They managed to restrict New Zealand to a decent total. And when Pakistan was batting, New Zealand in fact gave up a good fight. And at one stage between the 10th and 16th over, the match in fact had tilted in favor of New Zealand. The required run rate had gone above 9, and at that stage, Pakistan must have been a bit scared that maybe New Zealand would win. But then came Asif, and he scored those two consecutive sixes. And those two sixes suddenly shifted the game again in favor of Pakistan. And then their experienced player, Shoaib Malik, whom I have been seeing for almost 16, 17 years, and he came and showed his experience and won the game for Pakistan. So ultimately, now Pakistan is on the top of the group, winning two of their most difficult matches, beating two of the most difficult teams in the group, and the road to semi-finals is now really easy for them. I won't be surprised if Pakistan goes on to win all their group matches and top the table. I think Pakistan will be the first team now to qualify for the semi-finals. And here I would also like to talk about some Indian fans, like the predictions which I have made earlier. You see, some Indian fans have been a bit hypocritic with me. Not all. I can see many good Indian fans here on my channel. Like I will tell you, I made a prediction video about the semi-finals where I decided to put Pakistan as one of the semi-finalists. And in that video, many people objected, they disliked my video, saying that why I have included Pakistan as the semi-finalist. And then when India lost to Pakistan, after that, when I made my prediction video about the tournament winner, and in that video, I picked up two teams. First was India and second was not Pakistan. And for that, again, many people have been disliking my video, saying that they want to see an India-Pakistan final. So that is a hypocrisy, I would say, because if I am putting Pakistan in semi-finals, you are saying that I am bad. But if you put Pakistan in finals, then you say that is good. Well, no, I don't accept it. I don't think that is correct. That is hypocrisy. Well, in fact, but with this Pakistan victory, I got three of my predictions now correct in a row. Two of the predictions of the today's match and one of from yesterday's match when I predicted in favor of Afghanistan. So now I have got three correct in a row, and my confidence in predictions is now growing because I was getting it all wrong during IPL in the playoffs. And I will have to see now that how my prediction goes in the tomorrow's match. But before talking about tomorrow's match, let's talk a bit about yesterday's match also. Afghanistan versus Scotland. And what a comprehensive victory by Afghanistan, really dominating victory. And even I was surprised by the margin of victory. I was expecting Scotland to put up a good fight, and I was expecting it to be a close match, though I expected Afghanistan to win. But it was a really one-sided match. And the way Afghanistan performed in this match, batting so well, scoring 190 runs and then getting Scotland all out for 60 runs. I think even Afghanistan is a contender for semi-final spot. You can't underestimate Afghanistan. I saw their performance for the first time in the whole match, and it was really remarkable. You can't really guess. Maybe Afghanistan can surprise India or even New Zealand in one of the matches, or even Pakistan. Their team is looking quite strong to me. And then talking about tomorrow's match, first match is England versus Bangladesh. Well, I think regarding that match is easy to predict. Although Bangladesh is a good team and they have been performing well in the recent past, but still English team, England team in T20 is quite strong. They, I would say, is the strongest team in Group One. And although Bangladesh can surprise a few teams, but if Bangladesh can beat England, I would say that would be an upset defeat only. So I would say that England definitely is the favorite going into this match. And my prediction for this match is that England will win this match and it will be a comfortable victory, although not a one-sided victory. Bangladesh will also give in some fight, good fight. But I don't see it as a nail-biting match in which the match will be deciding in the last over. And then talking about the next match, Scotland versus Nambia. Well, regarding this match, I must tell you that I don't know much about their players. But going by their performance in the qualifier stage, Scotland was number one in their group. They won all their three matches. While if we see Nambia, even though they won two matches, but even till the last stage, it was not sure that who between Nambia and Oman would be qualifying. So it was between their match that ultimately Nambia qualified. So going by their performances, I think Scotland looks like a stronger team to me definitely. So my match prediction would be in favor of Scotland. I think Scotland will win tomorrow's match against Nambia. So let's see how tomorrow's matches goes and how the tournament progresses further. Okay, friends.